Welcome to the NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One. Only one team enters the big dance undefeated. This senior class for South Carolina, they have rewritten the Gamecock history books, but they are not done yet.
We're going into postseason as a unified group that is singularly focused on winning every basketball game that we suit up for.
Chasing a perfect season means the world. It would be something truly special. We gotta do it.
We all came here to create history. Since we've been here, we've been able to do that.
Chasing a perfect season means we finish as one of the most historic teams in South Carolina history.
There is no question what the goal is for South Carolina. It's winning title number 3. The South Carolina team comes in the #1 overall seed in the tournament for the second straight year, led by an outstanding senior class who calls themselves the Freshies. South Carolina in the upper left portion of the bracket. This is Greenville Regional 1. South Florida with a heart stopper earlier today, winning in overtime, a comeback against Marquette. They moved on to Sunday. They'll get the winner of South Carolina and Norfolk State. Let's go! Tourney time. Courtney Lau alongside national championship winning head coach Carolyn Pack. The South Carolina team, they're the 19th team to enter the tournament undefeated. 9 of those previous 19 have won the national title.
Well, the thing that South Carolina brings is consistency on the defensive end, specifically blocking shots and dominating on the glass. I expect nothing less as they continue to proceed through this NCAA tournament.
Yeah, there's 4 finalists for the National Defensive Player of the Year, and 2 of them are on South Carolina's roster, Aaliyah Boston being one of them, the reigning Defensive and National Player of the Year.
She's so dominant inside. Her agility to be able to protect the lane, but it's just not inside, but outside. She can defend as well. She is such a great leader, has a high basketball IQ, and she really, really motivates the rest of this South Carolina team. That's why they have been so successful this season.
South Carolina coming off its 7th SEC regular season and 7th SEC tournament title, but they want more. They want a repeat as national champions. And South Carolina controls the opening tip against Norfolk State out of the MEAC tournament champions this year. And
Norfolk State comes out in a 3-2 defense. They are the best defensive scoring team in the nation.
Kiera Fletcher, she is back and available today for South Carolina after missing the SEC tournament championship game. Let's take a look at today's starting lineups brought to you by Capital One. For Norfolk State, this team highlighted by Camille Downs, number 5, who is the MEAC Defensive Player of the Year the last 2 seasons.
She brings the energy defensively. She's one of the tops in total steals and steals per game.
Also their leading scorer at 12 points per game. Just the 2nd appearance in the tournament for Norfolk State, the first since 2002. So this was a really big deal for the Spartans to get back. McCoy Diawara with the shot and an offensive rebound for the Spartans.
Well, getting second chance opportunities against South Carolina for Norfolk State. That's impressive.
Deja Francis trying to drive in on Zaya Cook, and the floater goes. South Carolina's starting 5. Look, Raven Johnson did a great job in the SEC Tournament Championship game as the starting point guard, but it's nice to have Kiera Fletcher back. Dawn Staley said after that championship game, we can't win a national title without Kiera.
Kiera Fletcher has really come along offensively and really understanding where to get the ball to, and Zaya Cook definitely has stepped up her game in her senior season as well.
That is an AP 3rd-team All-American Zaya Cook, a 1st-team All-SEC selection.
She talked about the mental has caught up with the physical. She has wanted it so bad. She is one of the most competitive people for Dawn Staley and really has pressed too hard. Now she's letting it all come together in her senior year.
Coming off 24 points in that SEC Tournament Championship game against Tennessee. Diawara again with the 3 from almost the same spot. Fletcher on the glass. Fletcher in some trouble. She'll release it over to Bree Beal. She is the other National Defensive Player of the Year finalist. Talking about Bree Beal.
Yeah, finally Bree Beal is getting her due and recognizing how she can shut down her primary offensive defender or offensive player.
Camille Downs poking it away from Fletcher, and it's going to be a held ball, possession arrow, Norfolk State.
Isaiah Cook just letting the game come to her through the zone in the corner baseline. Nobody finds her. No rush, no worry. She knocks it down.
Fields driving in, the easy layup.
I tell you, Norfolk State didn't come in here intimidated whatsoever on South Carolina's home court.
Aaliyah Boston, bucket her first points. A little bit of history we're watching for Aaliyah Boston. Not the first time we've said that in her career.
We've said that, yeah. Well, first game of her career was history. She's got a triple-double when she came in as a freshman.
But she is looking, if she can get a double-double, and if they go all the way, 6 games, that ties the SEC record set by Sylvia Fowles. Dawn Staley just done an incredible job with this program, taking this program to new heights. 14 SEC titles, a couple of national championships.
One of the things I don't think Dawn Staley gets credit enough for, yes, she brought talent here into South Carolina, but the management of the talent. You know, when you have a roster that is 14 deep, all 14 can contribute in some way, and they have bought into their roles.
Yeah, that's been the key to success for South Carolina this year, the depth and understanding those roles. Boston's double teamed. Cook will take the 3. Rebound by Mahogany Williams.
Well, Larry Vickers told us he has broken the game down in segments. Instead of looking at the big picture of facing the #1 team in the country, 8 segments in between each media timeout.
Aaliyah Boston now 2 for 2. Yeah, so every 5-minute segment, that's what they're looking. Can we win this 5 minutes? If not, let's flush it and move on to the next 5 minutes in this game.
Exactly, because it can get overwhelming. Because South Carolina can come at you in waves. But right now, Norfolk State, they have held their own.
Camille Downs with the turnaround trying to go over Boston, and they get the offensive board, Deja Francis. Isaiah Cook misses the layup. And it's going to be Norfolk State basketball. Look, Larry Vickers, he is all about the Spartans. He walked on the men's team. He was an assistant coach for the men's team before taking over this women's program.
And midway through in 2016, the women's season, needed to replace the head coach. Vickers took over, and he's been there ever since. In this team, they've hung their head on the defensive side of things. That's where Coach Vickers has really focused, and that's allowed his team to have the success that it has.
Yeah, they're first in the nation in scoring defense. Second opportunity, Bree Beal was going for the block, and instead she'll be whistled for the foul.
Talked about Bree Beal being also a finalist for National Defensive Player of the Year. She usually has drawn the assignment of the best offensive player on the opponent's team. And when that's the case, it is a nightmare for that player to even try to get to their average.
This is Denasia Williams at the free throw line, the transfer in from St. John's. Looking, going back to Bree Beal, that's been her role since her freshman year. That's what got her in the starting lineup, and she hasn't let up.
When she came out of high school, one of the top scorers out of the state of Illinois. And Dawn Staley said, can you pack that in your pocket and just be that defensive stopper for me for a couple of years? And she's done that, accepted that role. And now this year, when teams want to play off Bree Beal, she's like, hold my Pepsi.
She gets in that pocket.
Pulls it right out.
Cook gets fouled, going to the basket. Game 2 of the first round here in Columbia, South Carolina, on top of Norfolk State. Well, last year, Norfolk State won the MEAC regular season, but they were upset in the tournament championship game by Howard. This season, a little redemption. They were able to beat Howard in the thriller of a MEAC tournament championship game and may get back to the NCAA tournament for their second appearance, the first since 2002.
That was a defensive battle all the way down. Destiny Howell for Howard tried to do all she could, hit some money threes down the stretch. But Norfolk State was able to hold Howard off.
A 26-6 record overall, winning that MEAC tournament. And this is a defensive team that's tops the nation in scoring defense and field goal percentage defense.
The activity that Norfolk State brings on the perimeter, they'll bring some full court pressure, really can wreak havoc in turning you over.
Diawara trying the three again. Raven Johnson has checked into the game for South Carolina. She's their point guard coming in off the bench, adding that speed to the offense.
So has Camila Cardoso. Remember, these two, they played together in travel ball pre-college. And Raven Johnson really likes to have that 6'7" target on the floor.
Who wouldn't? Cardoso's going to go to the free throw line. We got to talk to Raven yesterday. She had the best story because we're like, look, congrats on the SEC Tournament Championship. You got to start that game. And she goes, I know, I was kind of down about starting. We're like, Raven, what do you mean?
Now everybody would love to start.
Yeah, she goes, well, I just really like playing with Camilla. She's going to come in the game at some point.
Yeah, she says, Camilla cleans up a lot of my mistakes. I can just throw up in the air and she'll go get it.
You know, Raven had to handle those duties, and Dawn Staley told us it was her teammates that really helped her get through that SEC Tournament Championship game. Aaliyah Boston talking to her constantly in that game.
Well, she said that Aaliyah told her, listen, we got you. You don't have to worry about anything. We are not going to let you fail. Do you know how comfortable that would be as a point guard to hear your, player of the year, best player in the country say, I'm not going to let you fail?
Confidence instilled in Raven, and it paid off with a tournament title. Camila Cardoso fouled again, and she's going back to the free throw line. First foul against Sky Robinson.
You watch how Aaliyah Boston communicates on the floor. Zaya Cook comes down, pulls up at the free throw. If there were any doubt with Zaya whether or not that was a good shot, Aaliyah Boston went to her and said, that's a good shot. Continuing to infuse confidence in all of her teammates.
You know, there's talk of her for National Player of the Year, talking about Aaliyah Boston. Caitlin Clark is also in that conversation. What do you think when it comes to that race?
I look at the best player on the best team. And Aaliyah Boston is on South Carolina's team that has gone undefeated this season. And a big reason for that success is Aaliyah Boston. She has really had to share the wealth. She hasn't had to carry as much of the load offensively, but she still is at the top of every scouting report of any opponent in the country.
Camille Downs will take the long shot in a scoring drought here for Norfolk State. Quick pass inside to Boston. Immediately 4 players on Aaliyah Boston. Back to the free throw line.
I love the pass from Raven Johnson. When she caught it, no hesitation. She had her eyes to the rim. She knew that Aaliyah Boston was going to be there. And then look, 4 in gold surround Aaliyah Boston.
The National Player of the Year last year, 80 career double-doubles. That's the second most in SEC history, with the most being 86. And then she's projected to be the top pick in the WNBA draft.
I believe that she has got to be. Even if Indiana trades that #1 pick to somebody else would have to take Aaliyah Boston. Because you look at her, she's still not the best player that she is going to be. When you look at what Asia Wilson was when she left South Carolina and then goes on to be an MVP in the WNBA, Aaliyah Boston has that same potential.
There's a lane violation, so they're going to shoot this second free throw again.
So Aaliyah Boston was very disappointed that she missed 2 free throws. You saw her shake her head like, I don't do that. That can't happen.
Look, she's always held herself to a high standard since she arrived at South Carolina. 5 points, 2 rebounds, and she'll get a breather here. South Carolina up 14-5. Winner gets South Florida on Sunday.
Oh, and by the way, South Carolina now coming in with Ashlyn Watkins. It's like Dawn Staley can just go to the bench and add more talent to the floor and it never goes to a drop-off in production.
Everybody in the Greenville Regional 1 quadrant of the bracket, it's keeping them up at night.
Not much sleep.
Camille Downs trying again. Rebound by Kira Wheeler underneath the basket. And that ends a 2-minute scoring drought. South Carolina going quickly. Letitia Amihir. Mentioned all the pieces, and Amihir part of that Freshies senior class. Something got into her in the SEC tournament. She was awesome.
And has played just about every position on the floor, if not every position. She's played some points. She's been on the wing. She's played the 4, 5. And Dawn Staley talks about her basketball is just ahead of her. Said we haven't even seen the great Letitia Amihir of what she's going to be at the next level. And we asked, what is it? And she said she's going to be an even better scorer at the next level, and she can defend 1 through 5.
1 of 2 for Letitia Amihir, an Olympian as well, played for Team Canada in the Tokyo Olympics. Norfolk State's hit 1 of its last 11 shot attempts, and there's the rejection by Ashlyn Watkins.
Ashlyn Watkins is just pure athlete. The timing. Gets that block at the top of the shot. It's the future of the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Don't bury the lead, though. She's the first South Carolina Gamecock to dunk in a basketball game. Did it against Clemson earlier this season.
I mean, against an in-state rival, that's just wrong.
Or it's right if you're South Carolina. Shot clock violation. Sky Robinson's going to check back in for Norfolk State. South Carolina hasn't had a field goal now. 3 minutes and 45 seconds.
Wow, Norfolk State has had everything to do with that defensively. You look at how I-5 players are locked in. The rotations are there. Nothing's coming easy.
Watkins, rebound, free throws. That's the second on Camille Downs, the MEAC Defensive Player of the Year of the last 2 seasons. Well, the NCAA Women's Championship continues all day with first-round games and then continues through Sunday, April 2nd when we crown a champion. Every game is on the ESPN family of networks. For more information, go to ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. Have you calmed down a little bit from watching South Florida's comeback?
No, my heart is still racing. That was an exciting ball game. I mean, South Florida trailed the whole entire game till the fourth quarter. Then they started to really chip their way back. And then to pull off the win, wow.
Didn't take the lead until 1:21 to go in the game, and then forced overtime and won in overtime.
That's what March Madness is all about.
They get the winner of this game on Sunday here in Columbia. Fields over to Wheeler, trying to go in on Camila Cardoso. Second opportunity. Look at that. Poetry in motion for the Gamecocks. Raven Johnson sees it before it happens.
It is so fun to watch her maneuver on the court.
Norfolk State's going to get it right back. Fields over in the corner. Crystal White waiting.
Watch how Raven Johnson surveys the floor, finding the open player.
Breezy! 6-0 run for the Gamecocks. Fields off the screen from Wheeler.
Crystal White, number 0 in gold in the corner. That's the three-point specialist. He's hit 34 on the season.
4 seconds, Deja Francis driving in. Time winding down, Raven trying to dump it off to Camilla, but it's a turnover instead. The heave from half court. Raven Johnson conducting the orchestra that is South Carolina's offense.
You know what I like to say? Share the sugar. Well, Raven Johnson has that down pat. She knows exactly who to share it with, who to get it to, and right on time. Raven Johnson, the redshirt freshman, serving it up for the Gamecocks. A player I've been excited to see is Raven Johnson. Remember, she tore her ACL last season.
The best moment is the comeback. The way I came back, I didn't think I was going to come back that strong.
Here's Raven Johnson, and she's going to push. Free throw line. Boom!
We don't hesitate to put Raven in. We know what type of player she is.
Did you see that pass from Raven Johnson?
Johnson is going to take the three.
That freshman looks cool, calm, and composed. She is ready for this moment.
Raven Johnson's ready for her first appearance in the NCAA tournament as well. Second in the SEC in assist to turnover ratio. How nice is it, too, to have that change of pace coming in off the bench?
Well, teams that have to really prepare for two different styles.
Yeah.
You have the execution of Kiera Fletcher. Well, you got a little half-cut execution there, too, with Raven Johnson. But in transition, Johnson just makes the team go that much faster.
3 assists already for Raven Johnson.
Kiera Wheeler is battling inside.
Yeah, the offensive board, getting herself to the free throw line. First foul against Cardoso.
Wheeler may give up about a foot in height to Camilla Cardoso, but number 50 in gold, it does not affect her one bit. She continues to go to work, working hard inside.
She's had double-figure points in 5 of their last 6 games. Was a late addition to this Norfolk State team. Larry Vickers told us, though, look, she loves basketball. And you got to be careful, though. She'll con you into watching film if she's got something else important she has to do and wants to put it off. He's like, she's got me.
Oh, yeah, she knows that Coach Vickers will fall for it, too. You want to watch film? Any player that wants to watch film, yes, I am all about it.
I bet she's benefited from that extra time in the film room with her coach. Bree Hall, short on the 3. Rebound by Fields. Francis with the spin. Hall out to Ami here.
So this is the versatility of Letitia Me here.
What? Roll reversal. Ami here with the assist. Raven Johnson with the bucket.
And you got 6'4" who can handle the ball. I won't say like a point guard because she has played point guard.
Yeah, there were times 3 games last year. Destiny Henderson was unavailable for South Carolina, and Letitia Ami here started at the point position.
Yeah, right before that Clemson game, before they made the trip to the Bahamas last season. And Ami here really thrived at that point guard spot.
We asked her what changed for you at the SEC tournament, and she said, you know, there's a little bit extra to play for when you know that it could be your last tournament.
Really,
being a senior.
Talk about the chemistry of this team.
Yeah.
They're playing so hard for each other.
Ashlyn Watkins, no. Deja Francis, fouled by Cardoso, her second.
We were so impressed by Raven Johnson's vision down the court. How about Letitia Me here's vision of recognizing having Raven Johnson running that left wing. Dish up a little alley-oop on the action.
Deja Francis at the free throw line from Norfolk State, transfer from St. Bonaventure.
see how focused and locked in South Carolina is. They are not clock watching. They're not watching the score. They have to play discipline, execute, take care of the ball, and get good shots.
Turnover by Cook into the hands of Deja Francis. Transition points for Deja. First points in the second quarter for Norfolk State. Again, this is the top defensive team in the country. Talking about the Spartans and Camille Downs. Couple of transition points. And Dawn Staley is going to have to take a timeout.
Larry Vickers said the goal was to get Dawn Staley to call a timeout. Hey, Norfolk State, that defense has caused exactly that.
Ladies, thank you. Andrea, we were just talking about the Norfolk State defense. I mean, that's been their calling card all season.
This will frustrate you when the defense is active, especially against the zone, getting the deflection. Deja Francis then turning that into points in transition. And Kiera Wheeler on the post, on the block, defending it again. Norfolk State out and running. Camille Downs knocking down the three.
And Larry Vickers talked to us about maybe we can get some things going in transition. We can do that with our defense, forcing turnovers. Now, how does South Carolina respond after the timeout?
Well, they had to adjust to Norfolk State bringing full court pressure. And they've got to be disciplined against this defense because the Spartans are not here to mess around.
It was a good high-low look, but Ashlyn Watkins missed the bucket underneath. Two-plus minute scoring drought for South Carolina. Wheeler guarded by Boston. Downs falls down, and Ashlyn Watkins off in transition.
Watkins is so smooth. She just oozes athleticism.
Future is bright for South Carolina, a freshman out of Columbia, South Carolina. Local product.
Because it's hard for me to imagine not having these freshies, as they call themselves, back next season. What this team's going to look like. But there is a wealth of talent that's sitting over there on that bench.
Yeah, the senior class for South Carolina, known as the Freshies. Letitia Mehier got the block there. And it's a blocking foul on the Spartans. Camille Downs took a hard hit.
And Downs already had 2 fouls. Close. I think just the little step over as Mehier was trying to avoid the contact.
And you could move laterally. Did she establish that legal guarding position?
I don't think she was there yet.
Cook, pure. 7 points for Zaya. Francis with the ball skills, trying to break down Zaya. Cook gets her own rebound. Not relenting, Deja Francis. Fields pull up at the free throw line. Ball poked away from Letitia Mehier. Saxton gets it back. And Kiera Fletcher fouled. Got a little track meet happening inside Colonial Life Arena. South Carolina up 29-12 here in the first round of the tournament. First round of the NCAA tournament, South Carolina up 29-12. We've been talking about South Carolina's depth really all season because that's really helped them stay undefeated. South Carolina's Dawn Staley, she's got a lot of options.
Well, when you've got first the starting lineup, it is what it is. And these 5 can get you off to a good start. But then when you want to speed things up, you bring in Raven Johnson, Letitia Mee here. That's your runner hand. And then you want to go big with the big hand? Like, make one more substitution, and you bring Camila Cardoso in at 6'7". There are so many different versions of South Carolina that Dawn Staley can put on the floor. That's what makes them so dangerous.
And shout out to Ryan Fulham and our creative team for that animation there. That was awesome. Bench production, points per game, 37 points per game coming off the bench for South Carolina.
And 23 rebounds per game. In the SEC tournament, they were getting 37 points per game from their bench. That was almost 46% of their scoring. That's coming off the reserves.
And nobody in the nation gets more points off their bench than South Carolina does. 15 bench points today. Taken away by Zia Cook. She just gets this look, hunting for the lane, getting to the basket.
And when she gets really low,
yes,
forget about it. She's going by you.
It's a Cook look.
The Cook look.
8-0 run for the Gamecocks. Fletcher to a Mee here. Victoria Saxton has to sky for it.
I think here Fletcher threw that a little low for Victoria Saxton. She could have gotten up a little bit higher, would have made it easier for her to score.
Scoring drought, 3+ minutes for the Spartans. Deja Francis, it rattles out into the hands of Aaliyah Boston. That's her 4th rebound today. 5 points to go along with it.
Oh!
Boston is fouled, but Mahogany Williams coming in with the swat.
Mahogany Williams caught that one. That looked pretty good to me. Number 10 in gold comes over with the swat.
The foul was on McCoy Diawara, number 12.
It's really the 3rd missed free throw for Aaliyah Boston today. She got a do-over with a lane violation.
South Carolina today only shooting 47% from the free throw line. They're usually a 70% free throw shooting team.
South Carolina's showing some zone now, 2-3.
White in the corner. Now that's just toughness. Kiera Wheeler, when they need a bucket, that ends a 4-minute scoring drought. Wheeler gonna find a way to get it.
We watched her practice yesterday. She was a little gimpy, got a sore ankle, but that does not stop Wheeler. She continues to play through.
Yeah, she didn't take any drills off. She was still running up and down the court yesterday. Cook, top of the key.
And she said Coach Vickers wants her to run with the guard. She runs the floor.
Transition points, those have been important for Norfolk State. Fields on the lay-in.
The Spartans have changed back now to a 1-2-2.
Saxton shakes the defender. And a foul on the floor. Second on Sky Robinson for the Spartans. back to Boston. Bree Beal on the outside. Saxton to Fletcher.
Good box out by Wheeler to keep Boston off the glass.
South Carolina, those missed his last 5 shots. Under 2 to go in the half.
Yeah, Larry Vickers said last year he had 10 newcomers. They were getting used to each other, added a couple more this year, and that's why they've been able to experience the success they had in the regular season.
And last season they were used to playing 4 guards. They've added some post players now, like Wheeler. Cook elevated. Saxton on the glass. Hits the deck hard. Possession arrow to Norfolk State. And Larry Vickers will call timeout here, 1:18 left in the half. We started the day with a thriller of a game between Marquette and South Florida here in Columbia. Marquette had an 11-point lead at one point and led most of the game until South Florida said, hang on, we're not going anywhere yet, and South Florida into the second round.
Well, Dulcie Fanka-Maggiato went to work inside, really demanding the ball inside, and then Elena Chineke, she woke up. I think our alarm clock might have gone off in that fourth quarter because she was able to get her shot going. Hit a big 3 to help South Florida take it to overtime.
So the Bulls watching on this one. They'll get the winner of this game. That game will be on Sunday. Almost a turnover there. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Crystal White has it. Francis coming to get it. Working on Hall. Almost lost it. Banks it in at the buzzer. Hey, little shrug. She'll take it.
These Spartans came in with no fear. Not here to Columbia, South Carolina.
Their defense has shown up, though. South Carolina has missed its last 7 shots, a 3-minute scoring drought for the Gamecocks.
Held South Carolina to 33 points in a half.
Kira Fletcher stepping into it. No. Bree Hall offensive rebound.
Asia Francis, clock's running down. Banks it in. She says, I'll take it any way you can get it. Nice.
Deja Francis, this is her final season. Started out at St. Bonaventure, now in her 2nd season at Norfolk State. First team All-MEAC last season.
South Carolina's missed 9 free throws in that first half.
Yeah, just 50% from the free throw line. Spartans can take the last shot of the half. Bree Beal with the swipe. Got to put it up. South Carolina with the lead, 16 points off the bench for the #1 team in the nation. They're up 34-18. Back to Elle in the studio. The reigning National Player of the Year, Aaliyah Boston, 6 points, 6 rebounds as South Carolina leads Norfolk State at the half, 34 26-18 here in Columbia, opening round of the NCAA championships. Courtney Lau and Carolyn Peck with you. But look, this Norfolk State defense showed up too. South Carolina didn't have a field goal in the last 4.5 minutes of the half.
Well, because Norfolk State's got that zone working, and so South Carolina, that's been an area that has been really a level of impatience for South Carolina, but they seem to have figured that out today, especially moving and sharing the basketball.
Now let's take a look at today's difference makers. It's brought to you by CarMax, and sharing the basketball, that's a difference maker for the Gamecocks.
Well, you have to move the basketball against the zone. It's not necessarily just to the outside, then the inside, but moving it, making the defense have to shift in order to find the open players. There's been tremendous patience from South Carolina and movement. You not only have to move the ball, you got to move the bodies, and South Carolina's done a good job with that.
South Carolina coming into this tournament undefeated. 9 assists on 11 made field goals in the first half. 7th time the Gamecocks have been a #1 seed. They are the 19th team to enter the tournament undefeated. 9 of those won the national championship, and South Carolina trying to be the 10th to do so. Step 1 is winning here at home in the first round.
Larry Vickers had to talk to his team in the locker room and talking about small victories. Look at Kiera Wheeler. She has attacked the paint. But look, you only gave South Carolina 33 points, 34 points in that first half. So you've got to be pleased with your defense.
Boston is fouled. Now, we mentioned it in the first half, Larry Vickers talked to his team about breaking this game down into 5-minute segments, and they wanted to win 3 of those. They won 1 of those 5-minute segments in the first half.
Exactly. I mean, that's one of the things he'll be able to take back with him in talking about, did we achieve our goals? They've already forced John Staley to call a timeout in that first half. Now they've won and looking to try to win another one of those segments. There was one more.
Box out.
No, that wasn't it.
Okay.
It's going to come to me. They have come very focused. I haven't seen a sign of intimidation by the Spartans. It doesn't matter what team you're playing, what the ranking is, you come out and compete when it gets to NCAA tournament time.
Francis with the shot. Rebounding too was an emphasis, and it was only a 1 rebound difference between South Carolina and the Spartans at the half.
I remember what the third one is, but it's too soon to predict that one yet.
Bree Beal with the 3.
Beal's offense. Everybody wants to talk about that she's a defender, but she can bring offense as well.
South Carolina ball.
Rebuilt. Previous 3 years, she may have hesitated when the ball got rotated to her beyond the arc. Not this season. It comes to her. She's open. She knows that's an automatic decision.
Into the corner, Kiera Fletcher, too much on the 3. Wheeler with the rebound. Pass up ahead to Crystal White. Greenville on the boards.
And I think Greenville is going to make a fantastic pro. When you go to the next level, you've got to be able to defend, right? And now she has demonstrated what she did coming out of high school is that she was a scorer. So she can play on both sides of the ball, the versatility. She can be a stretch four. She's big enough, strong enough to, and she's willing to defend all 5 positions on the floor.
Beal almost had another one. Fletcher, offensive boards galore on this possession for South Carolina. Beal in the paint, short.
that was a lot of contact.
Fletcher's going to push back the other way. Victoria Saxton. South Carolina had missed its last 6 shots before that putback. Ends the 2-minute scoring drought.
And Saxton was that player last season because of the energy she brings on the glass, and defensively, you go, how do you replace the leadership? Because she has been a leader for the last 4 seasons.
Yeah, talking to Dawn Staley about that, she said Victoria is that Mother Goose figure on our team, and she has been. I mean, she's been a captain since she was a sophomore.
Yeah, she's been a captain, co-captain with Aaliyah Boston over the last 3 seasons. That just really sets the tone for your culture that leads to winning ways. Look, Wheeler going right at Aaliyah Boston. You see, she's got a little bit of a limp there, but it doesn't slow her down, it doesn't stop her. She's not coming out of this game.
3-point play for Kiera Wheeler. South Carolina won for its last 7. This Norfolk State defense giving them problems, and Camille Downs gets a hand on it. Cook gets it back.
How active Camille Downs is at the top of that defense.
Bree Beal offensive board.
South Carolina gets offensive rebounds. Aaliyah Boston was practically at half court.
Another one, this time by Cook. Through traffic. It's been tough to score the basketball today for South Carolina. The Norfolk State defense does not stop.
The only thing they have not been able to do in that possession was keep South Carolina off the glass. But they've made scoring extremely difficult.
Isaiah Cook at the free throw line. It's the first. The NCAA Men's Basketball Championship first round continues today on CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV. For more information on tournament game times and networks, go to ncaa.com.
After this game, I got to check my bracket. See if I
get
it. Well, I had the little fire sign next to my name, so I'm taking that to mean that I'm doing okay.
It also could mean set your bracket on fire.
Or it could mean that they know me and know how fire I am.
Well, okay. I do know you. Cardoso back in the game. She picked up a couple of fouls in the first half and had to take a seat.
I'm impressed with how Wheeler, against 6'7", you know, most players try to go up through and beg for a foul, not Wheeler. She gets her position and then gets the space on the shot to score over length.
A quick pass up ahead to Camille Downs, swatted away by Bree Hall. Kiera Fletcher is fouled driving in. First round here in Columbia, South Carolina on top. Well, we got the bracket, and now everybody's trying to make their way to Texas. 2 regional sites this year, Seattle and Greenville. 4 teams will make their way to Dallas for the Final 4 on March 31st. And the South Carolina team, there's a lot at stake for this program. They're trying to be the 10th undefeated national champion, the 5th program with 3 national titles, and the 4th program to win back-to-back titles. If they can come in and make it all the way to Dallas and win that championship.
That would be extremely impressive, especially with these freshies that have come in. When you look at what they've done since they got here, their freshman season, they didn't have an opportunity to play for a national championship because of COVID. They were disappointed the second year, and then they won just last season.
South Carolina is the 19th team to enter the tournament undefeated. 9 of those previous teams have gone on to win the title. But what have you seen so far from South Carolina here in their first game of the tournament?
Well, they've got a lot of talent. Dawn Staley has been able to play a lot of people. I mean, that's what I think has got to be so concerning for any opponent that they may face. And watching them play against the zone here, we've seen them being played so many different ways. Camille Downs ain't scared knocking down the 3, but South Carolina, Dawn Staley has been able to find ways to win regardless of how teams defend them.
Offense struggling a little bit right now for South Carolina. 1 for their last 11 shots. Going inside to Camila Cardoso, and she'll go to the free throw line. Being fed by Raven Johnson, no surprise.
But you talk about their drought, struggling to score, you go to 6-7.
Yes.
When you're not able to score, Raven Johnson knows I can throw over the top, and Camila Cardoso is going to catch it, number 1, and she's either going to finish or get herself to the free throw line.
Wheeler picks up her 3rd foul for the Spartans. Now, Camila Cardoso has really emerged this season for South Carolina. Her first season was at Syracuse. She was the ACC co-defensive player of the year and freshman of the year. Last year came to South Carolina, was trying to figure out her place in this loaded roster.
And what I have noticed the biggest difference of Camila Cardoso, we were at practice yesterday, I could hear her.
She speaks.
I know.
She was very quiet last year. Boston to kick out to Raven Johnson, who can push. Bree Hall is with her. Layup.
I love the delivery of Raven Johnson. She knows when to give the ball up just in time. She's very rarely too late to make that decision.
That was an assist for Raven, her 4th of the game. And now the takeaway. Inside to Cardoso. Bree Hall, Bree Beal, by herself. Say my name correctly. Bree Beal with the 3. 3 minutes to go in the 3rd. Johnson with 5 assists. This is the 12th time this season she's had 5 or more assists in a basketball game, and she makes it look too easy.
She just, as soon as she gets the ball, surveys the situation and knows how to serve it up. She is a willing passer. She is that 70-30, 70% your time, 30% might be her time. But she gets the ball where it needs to be. She's only played 9 minutes and has 5 assists.
They've been very efficient. That last one going to Bree Beal, who is one of 4 finalists for the Naismith Defensive Player of the Year, but adding that offense in, and it's going to be interesting to see Bree Beal. I mean, she's a player they're going to want on the next level in the WNBA.
I got to believe that GMs are really coveting getting a Bree Beal because of the toughness that she has already shown defensively. This is how I grade her. Strength, yeah, you don't want to mess with Bree Beal. She's got some bully ball about her. Get an A+. She brings the toughness, A+, and a two-way player. And I say that, two-way, defensively, already proven. Offensively, you're just being introduced to what her capabilities are now in her senior season.
Sanaya Fagan is in the game for South Carolina.
There is a wealth of post players that Dawn Staley has to choose from on that roster.
People just show up in the game and you're like, oh, forgot about her. There she scored.
You better not forget about it. They'll make you pay.
Don't do it. High-low to Fagan. Forget about nothing. Look at that.
The talent that is at South Carolina, and they're okay with playing their roles.
Right.
Dawn Staley has sold them on, look, your time will come. Your opportunities will be there. Just continue to prepare yourself to be ready when your number's called.
Wheeler trying to get over 6'7", Camila Cardoso. Possession arrow to South Carolina.
We said Cardoso was the 6'7" answer when she comes in. We thought it was to be the recipient. Well, she's also a passer, finding Sanaya Fagan down low.
Sanaya Fagan, a sophomore. She was the #4 overall recruit in last year's class, the #1 forward, of course, the McDonald's All-American.
She has the benefit of learning from a great player, basketball mind in Aaliyah Boston.
Baseline. Welcome to the tourney. Here I am.
Columbia doesn't have to worry as this group moves on. There's a new slew of talent that's right here.
Francis, it's going to be an offensive foul. That's the 4th on Wheeler. 12-0 run right now for South Carolina.
Fagan's come in already 6 points. She's only played 2 minutes.
Well, she's on a 6-0 run alone. Just by herself.
Say, hold my Pepsi. I got this.
Mahogany Williams trying to push the other way. Deja Francis will pull it back out. Three and a half minutes without a bucket for the Spartans.
Well, Kiara Wheeler has gone to the bench too.
Johnson overshot the target of Sanaya Fagan. Raven Johnson, look, she's got such good instincts. It really benefits her out on the floor. She can see the future a little bit, if you will.
We were in practice a couple of weeks ago here, and she made a play in practice, and Dawn stopped practice and said, Raven, why did you do that? And Raven couldn't really give her an answer, and Dawn told her, I know you don't know.
Yeah.
But what I love about you is you have such great basketball instincts. Just play the game.
Bree Hall can't finish, though. It was a great pass from Raven Johnson. And that's going to be a foul on Raven.
We're talking about instincts. The instinct to throw a bounce pass to lead Bree Hall in transition. Breezy just wasn't able to finish it.
Deja Francis looking for the bank. It won't go. 10 minutes to go here in the first round in Columbia. South Carolina on top, 56-26. Let's take a look at today's Capital One rewarding performance. Let's go to the freshies.
The freshies have all contributed. You got Zaya Cook knocking it down. Aaliyah Boston inside. Leticia Mehier bringing the spark off the bench. Bree Bill demonstrating the offense that she's got. And Olivia Thompson's going to be coming in. Like, she is the super Gamecock. I love Olivia Thompson and what she has meant to this program. She loves to be a part. She is so appreciative and brings the enthusiasm. And before this tournament's over, I want her to teach you and I the gritty, because she's got that down pat.
Look at the record for the senior class, though. 125 wins and 8 losses in their career. I'd like to see you hit the gritty, Tech.
I think I could. I think my feet are too big.
No,
I can't get them organized. I know. I think Olivia can help me with that. Yep. I love watching Olivia Thompson practice, though. She knows how to get the scout team in order. She knows the right places to be. Execution. If you got a question, Olivia Thompson has the answer for you.
It goes back to this team has bought into their role, and all of their roles are extremely important, and why they're 32-0.
And everybody repeats, they respect each other's roles. They don't take any of them for granted.
Yeah, this freshman class has been incredible for Dawn Staley. Came in #1. Helped South Carolina win 38 straight games. Trying to make it 39 here today. Sanaya Fagan, the dump off to Leticia Mehier to the free throw line. You know, the selection show was really cool. I had the chance to be here with South Carolina, and they had a local artist, Jarrett Emerson, who's painted some Gamecock paintings before. He did this painting, didn't even use a brush, Peck, just used his hand and painted it during the selection show right at mid-court while the team and fans were watching it on the Jumbotron.
It's beautiful. That is amazing.
It was incredible. It was really funny because nobody knew what the painting was of. So it was funny to see them guess, and they started going, "That's Bree Beal. That's Bree Beal," like as the painting developed.
How long did it take him to do it?
I thought it went really quick for, I don't know, an hour? It was during the selection show.
Right,
so
that's amazing.
It was
Wow.
amazing. It was so much detail. Shout out to Jarrett Emerson for that work of art.
Didn't Don have some of his work in her office?
Yeah, he's painted her before.
Wow.
Winning the championship the first time, I believe. Raven Johnson on the floor. She calls timeout. South Carolina on top here in the fourth quarter. Of course she's going to have a big game, right? Big stage for Caitlin Clark, trying to get Iowa back to the Final Four for the first time in a long time.
She hasn't been there, and I believe that she is just starving to get the Hawkeyes there. She's going to have to. But she won't have to be by herself. Kate Martin, Gabby Marshall to go along with Monica Zanano. I think they're ready. They're prime with the way that they played in the Big Ten tournament.
Iowa's the 2 seed in the Stanford portion of the bracket, which is Seattle 4. Sanaya Fagan at the free throw line. Ashlyn Watkins is going to come in for South Carolina and replace Aaliyah Boston. Boston takes a seat, 7 points, 9 rebounds for Aaliyah. So here is that bracket featuring Iowa. So this is the lower left portion of the bracket. Georgia has already advanced to the second round with a win.
Georgia's got diamond battles. It'll be interesting. How will Georgia's matchup defense, not a zone.
Not as, don't call it a zone.
No, matchup defense and how they guard logo threes by Caitlin Clark.
Yes. Well, South Carolina has put up 20-plus points in 2 quarters today. They held Norfolk State to single digits in the first quarter and the third quarter. And we've seen a lot of different lineups, too, for the South Carolina Gamecocks team. Raven Johnson steals it back. Watkins gets the dump off and the bucket. Deja Francis trying to push. Johnson with the steal. Bree Hall. Amihir rebound too far underneath the basket. Wheeler's gonna rip it away.
Rita, number 1, Caitlin Clark in Iowa.
Watkins with a rejection.
Southeastern
Foul on that one.
Haven't had a whistle on either end.
Raven Johnson's going to make her team execute. She's not starting the offense till she gets everybody in the right spot.
She snuck Letitia Amihir in on the block.
Raven sees the ball, sees the floor so well, and can really visualize the opportunities that are going to be there. So she's just trying to get you in the right place.
What do you think is the biggest benefit for Raven moving forward, getting to play behind Kira Fletcher this season?
Well, I think that Raven Johnson has benefited from last year being able to watch Destiny Henderson.
Yeah.
And now being able to try some things she saw Destiny Henderson do, knowing that she's coming in behind Kiera Fletcher. So that gives you a little bit of a safety net. And then next year, it's your show. Now you'll be ready to totally have the range. You'll have the keys to the bus next season.
We've seen that waiting process too, because it was Destiny Henderson waiting behind Ty Harris for her opportunity to run this team.
Well, it's the passing of the baton. So Ty Harris won a national championship, passed the keys on to Destiny Henderson, who won a national championship. Now is it time for Raven Johnson to cut down her nets.
Chloe Kitts in the game for South Carolina, number 21. Letitia Mehier gets fouled. And that's the 5th foul on Camille Downs. Camille Downs, a graduate student, the 2-time MEAC Defensive Player of the Year, 5th in the nation in steals, and she's fouled out of this game. Playing her final season at Norfolk State. And Larry Vickers told us, look, times she's going 110 miles per hour all the time. Sometimes I got to slow her down.
She's had a tremendous college journey. She was at Compton State. She tore her Achilles. This is her 4th school, and she has been able to, she lost her love for basketball and then got that back when she came to Norfolk State, and has really been a major contributor once she got there.
Deja Francis driving, and she's fouled by Raven Johnson. Her 2nd. Francis fouled by Fagan.
Look, there are going to be some teams that are going to take away some of the offenses that Norfolk State has been able to run against South Carolina in order to get themselves to the free throw line and cause the bigs of South Carolina to have to shift.
First point for the Spartans here in the 4th quarter. Francis has one more coming, and she gets it. Let's go back to the studio with Elle.
But it's just different players can step up. Zia Cook can have an off-shooting night, and then Kiera Fletcher, like she did at Tennessee, hits 2 big threes.
Right.
Like they have just different people that will step up. If one of their teammates is struggling, somebody else will help carry the mail.
Yeah, it rolls in waves. Just keeps coming.
It does.
There's your girl. Olivia
Thompson
just checked in.
And look, in the offseason last year, when we started this season this year, Don Saley said, it's making it hard for me not to put her in the game with how well she's shooting the basketball. And in different situations, when they played Stanford in that game that went to overtime.
Big 3.
She put O in. Yeah, absolutely knocked down that 3. So everybody, it's not a matter of getting a quantity amount of time, just quality. When you go in, do your job, and that's what O's always ready to do.
Francis trying to step back. And Chloe Kitts is fouled in the mid-range. It's on Deja Francis.
Chloe Kitts is playing in the NCAA tournament. She's supposed to be a senior in high school right now.
That was number 17 in the 2023 class, but enrolled early. And for this Norfolk State team, this has been a season to remember for sure. I mean, 26 wins. They go and win the MEAC tournament, getting that revenge over Howard, who upset them last year. And their defense tops in the nation in field goal percentage defense and scoring defense.
That's something they should be extremely proud of. This being the top scoring defense in the country. That doesn't just happen because somebody has an off shooting night. It's because of the defensive pressure the Spartans have been able to bring.
Yeah, just the second appearance all time for Norfolk State in this NCAA tournament, the first since 2002. Into the corner, the three for Fields. 10 points for her.
Taking care of business in the MEAC is something that has become very common for Norfolk State, and I expect nothing less. They're a team that will be back.
They work it inside to Sanaya Fagan, who's coming to this game late. 9 points now for Fagan. Fields has her shot blocked. Jalasia Cooper with the defense there to get the stop.
Cooper, South Carolina native, her freshman season here. She put on a show last year in the McDonald's All-American game. Everybody wanted O to knock down that three. She'll have another opportunity if South Carolina is able to get a stop.
Wheeler working for two more. She has not stopped this entire game. 11 points, 8 rebounds, and it's been a battle in the paint.
And it hadn't been easy for Wheeler. I mean, going against Camila Cardoso, Aaliyah Boston inside. Watch how bad everybody wants Olivia to hit that three. They were pulling for her.
And Bree Bill tweeted after the SEC Tournament Championship game, it's amazing how much everyone on this team genuinely wants the others to succeed. And it's just impressive.
It is the culture that you want if you want not to just win a national championship, but be a national championship program.
The FAMs, as they call them here in Columbia, rising to their feet. In a row sounds pretty fine. 39 straight wins for South Carolina. They advance to the second round.
They took care of business and got a lot of contributions by everybody, literally everybody in that white uniform for South Carolina. It's a good way to start, but it won't be so easy come Sunday.
South Carolina eliminates Norfolk State. They move on to face the 8 seed South Florida, who won in overtime, a comeback in overtime for the South Florida Bulls. We will have that game for you on Sunday on our ESPN family of networks.